right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Comics Asylum Live. My name is Steve, and I'm here with Scott Brian Woods and Jeff McClinchey. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing excellent. Thank you.
Excellent.
How are you?
So, for those of you who are unaware, Scott and Jeff are comic creators extraordinaire, writers, artists in their own right, and they also collaborate on the Black Helm Saga. Are there any others that you collaborate on, or no?
So far, that one, I
That's it.
think. Yeah.
I've gotten Jeff to do some editing for me.
Yes.
That counts too, for sure.
There
Yeah.
we go.
For sure. So, how's the middle to back end of 2025 treating you? I guess the last time we would have seen each other probably would have been at a convention.
Mhm.
I'm not sure which one. It might have been at Gotham Central, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. London Comic Con.
Yes.
Yeah, London Comic Con.
London Comic Con. Yeah.
They all tend to blur together after a while, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
It's almost like a color scheme. You have to say like what was the background colors. If it's red, it might be Fan Expo or Toronto.
Yeah, so true. So, are you working on anything now? Are you watching anything now?
I'm always watching something. It's usually in the background and stuff, but a show that I have been watching that I really like and is new is Black Rabbit.
Ooh, what's
It's
that?
on Netflix with Jason Bateman and Jude Law. It's
Can't
these
go
two
wrong with
brothers in the restaurant business and in New York, and it's Jason Bateman likes to get into some messy, criminal kind of activities in his movies. And
So he's Marty from Ozarks, but like a little.
he's
different.
not Marty at all. He is a mess.
Okay.
He's like opposite of Marty. No offense to Eddie Vedder, but he kind of looks like old 90s grunge Vedder.
Okay.
Like,
Wow. Okay.
big beard, long hair.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good.
That's cool. And Jeff, what are you, if anything, watching?
Watching. Currently, started watching a little animated comedy cartoon on Netflix called Haunted Hotel.
Okay.
It's by the Rick and Morty people, or at least someone from Rick and Morty. I'm not
Got it.
exactly sure who, but it's pretty funny. It's got one of the lead voice actors is, oh my gosh, I can't think of the actors. He's kind of in everything now.
Yeah, the SNL dude.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
terrible that we can't remember his name. And
I can't think of his name.
that's a sign of our age.
It's
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
see the triple of gray.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's it.
That's what happens. Stay in
I like
school.
how the
Stay in
beard
school.
length actually grows as we go between each picture.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's one of those things like you asked me something from like 1985,
Mhm.
probably rattle it off pretty good.
Yeah.
From last week, whatever.
It's too easy to take the phone out and just search that name.
The Google machine for sure.
So
Most
try
definitely.
your best not to do it. And so by the end of this, one of us will remember his name, and we'll just blurt it out.
Or whoever's watching will put it in the chat.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my
That'll
gosh.
start. And are you reading anything?
Oh. Yeah.
I look at all my comics.
Yeah.
I look at them all every week.
Mm-hmm.
I look through them, and then I put them on the stack, and I'm like, I'm going to read you later. And the stack's quite big now. So probably the last book that I've been reading consistently would have been the Conan stuff and the Batman.
Jim Zub?
Robin. Yeah, and the Batman Robin Samney.
Right.
Somni, I think.
Yeah, I'm not definitive on that, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Jim Zub stuff is great. It's like almost like a blast from the past.
Yeah, that's what I like
Reading
about
that
it.
stuff. Yeah.
He gets it.
Myself, I'm just thinking about what I picked up today at the shop since it was Wednesday.
Mhm.
I haven't read any of it yet, but I grabbed the new G.I. Joe one-shot, Cold Slither.
Okay.
With Zartan and the Dreadnoks as a heavy metal band. That seemed kind of
Really?
fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm hoping it's going to be fun. As Scott knows, I like a lot of my funny books. I don't know if it's going to be funny. But the other thing that's probably top of mind right now is a novel. So there's an author, Jason Pargin, and I'm listening to his novel, Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits. It's good.
Is that the name of the book, or is that
That's the name of the book?
Okay.
Yeah. So he's known for his first book, which is John Dies at the End, which was made into a film. But yeah, it's enjoyable. They're funny, lots of twists, and has cyberpunk and future, and some of the books have like, The Thing and Cthulhu and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool. I just finished Alien Earth.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet.
Yeah, I've only gotten to episode 5.
Okay.
And I've been quite digging it. But then because I'm slow to finish it, I've started to see little things pop up on my YouTube. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, don't let these headlines color my...
I haven't watched any of it.
So...
Yeah, if you're a big fan of Alien, the Alien franchise, it's pretty faithful.
Okay.
It just takes a couple of narrative shifts, or not even shifts, decisions. There were some decisions made that are basically from the first episode that I'm not sure I'm digging. I sort of understand why.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I'm fully on board. But I will say I missed not watching an episode, last night.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's one of those where I'm not sure I like it, but I still want to see where it goes because I'm such an Alien fan.
Yeah, I've been pretty much the same way. I don't think this is really any spoilers, but it's interesting. Its focus kind of really being on the whole android aspect.
Yes.
Which is fine. It's interesting just because otherwise you just don't want to always rehash the alien on a ship kind of thing.
Does it reconnect or definitively connect Blade Runner? And because I know there's that I think they've said they're connected, right?
Yeah, they've connected it mostly in little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like, I think it was all kind of like thoughts up until you got to, I think, Prometheus, where there was like text messages where Tyrell and Wayland were like texting each other kind of thing in the future. But again, I don't think this is much of a spoiler. They talk about like 5 corporations, but I don't know that they've necessarily named what all 5 of them are. They've named 3.
Yes.
So very easily one of those 5 could be the Tyrell Corporation.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think it's a perfect example of when you have a really rich canvas for world building, you can go anywhere, and as long as it's written well, then you're okay. And I might be in the minority, but I really liked what they were doing, at least at the start, for like Prometheus and stuff like that, because I wanted to know, okay, let's see what the engineers are all about. And it's like they shifted course during that time, and you're just kind of like, man, really? You went that way? But
no, I dug a lot of that. I think my only real issue that I ever had with Prometheus was that it was kind of one of my same issues with the Star Wars prequels, that everything just looked a lot better, and I was like, I just wish the tech looked a little,
nice.
Yeah,
it had a really good. I like Prometheus a lot, and I liked it because it was almost like a standalone on its own, and it
absolutely. There's lots to like about it.
Just a throwback kind of old school pulp. Something that would have been from the 70s, but would have had the budget that you always wanted it to have, right? Or 60s or 70s, like
exactly. Yeah, definitely. Well, we're gonna move off that, and since we're talking about film and movies and whatnot, we got some sad news about the passing of a giant in the industry. I'm gonna see if I can get his name correct, but Renato Casaro, who was an artist that basically is one of the lasting images, his work of our childhood, even though we aren't quite sure or weren't necessarily aware of who he was.
Yeah.
And so he did a ton of, he passed away at the age of 89. I think it was either today or yesterday. And it turns out that he has done like the majority of the movie posters that are emblazoned in our childhood memory.
Yeah.
It's amazing how prolific he was.
Yeah, there's like two, right? There was like two artists who's either doing Indiana, the artist, I can't recall his name, did the Indiana Jones, those ones. And then he did Conan, like Conan and...
Yeah, like that's the one that stands out for me. Like I just go and I think about that original Conan poster holding up the sword. Where is it there? It must be on that page.
Yeah, it's definitely on that page.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
I'm going to bring it up now.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did the good, the bad, the ugly, and those ones.
Yeah, like he even did stuff into the like. I know he did later ones because he did like a Army of Darkness one, I think too. So he did one with like that was supposed to be a little bit like Conan. I'm not sure if that one's there somewhere, but yeah, it was kind of just one of those people
for you guys.
Just one of those individuals that, as a kid, you never really knew their names.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he created the artwork for A Fistful of Dollars, Conan the Barbarian, and then he actually did the poster for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Would that have been his last?
Probably. So we'll get a look at some of these because I have them pulled up on another screen. But like Conan the Barbarian in '82, Red Sonja naturally in '85, Running Man in '87, Total Recall in '90. So he and Arnold Schwarzenegger had something going on there for sure. Judgment Day '91, True Lies '94. Let me see if there are any examples of. He did Cliffhanger, Lock Up, Over the Top. Which
I was just
arm
thinking
wrestling
about
movie.
Yep.
And then you go all the way back to 1964 with Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing that he did. And this is total Tarantino when you think about it. He did Once Upon a Time in America in '84. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would have been an absolute perfect cap to his career. And this one, everyone kind of remembers.
Yeah. Hands down.
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian, 1982. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It's amazing too because I think Scott, you mentioned it was the artist whose name escapes me as well too, who was also doing the Indiana Jones ones, and it was like you saw his stuff everywhere, like everywhere, but it wasn't anything where you like oh, it's John Byrne or oh, that's Jim Lee or whatever.
Drew Struzan.
That's
Drew
right.
Struzan. Yeah,
it's there again. It's there. I looked it up. I'll be honest. I looked it up. But I should have known it.
Right. So I'm gonna share this page. So this is from
this is good stuff.
Space Shipper. This was on I think this is Blue Sky. So considered one of the most influential Italian poster designers, Casaro leaves behind a legacy of hand-painted artwork for thousands of films, including such classics as Conan the Barbarian, Octopus. So he did Bond films too, and A Fistful of Dollars. He was 89. So let's take a look at this one. So Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
That's an absolute classic.
Yeah.
I've watched that not that long ago too. That's one of those background movies.
Nice. Nice. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's always good to have some sort of noise in the background when you're drawing.
Yeah.
Solaris, which I haven't seen, but I do remember the poster.
I watched that one too. That was
I guess the cinematographer from 2001 was involved in this one, if my Italian is correct.
Oh, okay.
My Italian's weak. I'm just guessing based on what little French I know. Dune.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember that Dune poster.
Neither do I. I'm wondering if that was a European poster. And the Never-Ending Story.
Mm-hmm. It's funny when you brought up Over the Top earlier. It's one of those perfect examples of an 80s poster that you would have been like a kid in the video store and you're like, I've got to rent that movie.
Yeah.
The poster is just so much better than the actual movie.
Right.
No
Easy.
offense to Over the Top fans,
Easy.
but
My dad was a truck driver, so
oh yeah, there you go.
I was like convinced that when he was out of sight, he was probably going to do some arm wrestling somewhere.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's take a look at some of these here.
Yeah.
We've got I guess that would be Rambo,
Yeah.
Octopussy, Terminator 2, Flash Gordon. There's Fistful of Dollars, Red Sonja.
I wonder if there was like some competition between Stallone and Schwarzenegger for, because they always had that competing thing going on in the 80s, and they're using the same,
Right.
Oh,
same guy
definitely.
in your posters.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Dances with Wolves.
I was gonna say I don't remember seeing that one.
And there's the Army of Darkness one.
And Inner Space, yeah.
Inner Space, Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Jeez. So he did all.
I like seeing the foreign ones, like that Flash
Oh,
Gordon
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, this
That
one's
was
pretty
awesome.
cool. See if we can get that one pulled up.
Yeah, like the Star Wars ones that have that like other languages on it. It just looks so cool. Like it looks so looks like the future.
Does look cool.
Yeah.
There's the Conan one as well too. Looks like that was in Japanese, 1982. Let's see if I can find that Flash Gordon one. Blowout.
Yeah.
I don't. Is Blowout? No, that's not Face Off. But he was in Nancy Allen. I think was in Face Off as well too. Cotton Club? No, I don't think he did that.
Huh.
Where are you, Flash Gordon? There you are. Interesting.
One I had to look up was I was thinking that maybe he did Star Crash. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Oh yeah, Star Crash. Yeah.
He didn't do it, but
didn't
I
do
thought
that one?
maybe he did just because. I think it was Italian, right? It was an Italian Star Wars.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Rip. I've watched that one far too many times. I'll be honest. Like that's a background one that just. I think it's great.
Yeah. I put a lot of those on in the background, like Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
And,
You're basically getting all your use out of Tubi you can, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Tubi. The gift.
I've actually thought about getting rid of everything but Tubi. I just feel like Tubi is just I don't know, just this unending well of awesomeness.
And it's funny because you'll look at certain genres and stuff, and it'll show you a certain amount, and then you'll be like, well, then you type in the actual name of the film, and then it pops up, but it wasn't in that whole genre. Like it could be a
right.
and it just didn't show up. But if you put the exact name in, it's in the database somewhere in there.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to find it.
And it's amazing because, like, sometimes it's interesting when you walk into like a comic book store or you go to a convention,
Mhm.
and you think of like how many comics have been produced. Let's say just from 1960 on.
Yeah.
Like it's mind-boggling. And you could be like an Archie fan.
Yeah.
And you would have enough to read from 1960 till now.
Yep.
Hands down. And that's not
Yeah.
including Marvel, DC, Image,
Mhm.
Vault, Distillery, whatever is being published today. And when you think of movies, it's the same thing. And it's like stuff you've never heard of, but are absolute classics that might have been remade as
Mhm.
North American films, right? But there's so much that's been created. And there's places like Tubi that are like, hey, you didn't know about this? Come check it out.
The other day, the kids, they went outside, and I was like, found myself alone on a Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to watch something on the big screen. I get to watch something black and white on the big screen. And so I'm on Tubi, and I'm scrolling through, and the one thing that popped up was the Colgate, what was it? The Colgate comedy hour with Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. And I was like, done. I'll start watching this. And Jerry Lewis comes in and he starts talking about how the Colgate company is a very distinguished company and they take everything so serious. And then when it pans out, he's not wearing any pants. He's just in boxer shorts. And it made me laugh. And I'm like, classic. Like they did that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Or whatever it was when it came out. And I'm like, if it's funny, it's funny. Kids came in. My daughter, she's 8. She's sitting down beside me. And she's like, "Dad, I don't know what's going on." And it's just Dean Martin basically drinking, and
it's almost like his roast, like the roast they used to do.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was funny though.
That's hilarious. Well, dipping into nostalgia. The first time I think I met you, Scott, you had some amazing artwork. Some of it's emblazoned. At least the inspiration for it is emblazoned on the T-shirt you're wearing. Old Canadian cartoons.
Yeah, I love them.
Mighty Hercules. For anyone who is not Canadian,
Mighty
Hercules, or of a certain age or vintage, Mighty Hercules was Canadian animated cartoon. Was on early mornings on Saturdays, and another one would have been around that time. Would have been Rocket Robin.
Yeah.
As like two of my faves, and then I kind of throw Spider-Man in there too, because like,
well, the funny thing, the connection between those two is Rocket Robin Hood and Spider-Man, and I think a lot of people know this already, but the same studio did those, and they reused scenes in those, so that you'll have certain scenes where Rocket Robin Hood's standing on the hand of something, like he's standing on this giant's hand, and then exact same scene happened in Spider-Man standing on that hand. Like,
what was the episode? Was it Dementia 5 or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
It was some sort of weird. It almost would more be fitting for like Doctor Strange, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would be amazing actually to have a Doctor Strange. And
I don't know if Ralph Bakshi was directing that season of Spider-Man or not when they had flipped to that more darker psychedelic sky, because I think that's the season. I think it might have been season 2 or 3.
I didn't even know that he was the director on that. I didn't know he was connected to that. I just thought it was a studio.
Right.
And, I recently found that out as well, that he was directing it. So
crazy.
Everything he touched was awesome.
Oh yeah. Did he also do Fritz the Cat? Am I
wrong? Yeah, he did Fritz the Cat.
I just remember watching that as a kid, going, "What the hell am I watching?"
I shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Rocket Robin Hood, the animation was kind of cool. It was a riff on Robin Hood and his band of merry men, and it was fun. Maid Marian. It was all set in the future, and it was just a fun cartoon to watch back in the day.
Yeah, and it was like back in the day, you only had so many channels. Yeah, and you only had so many cartoons, so you basically liked it.
You better like it, or you're not getting anything else.
You're not watching anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember watching Rocket Robin Hood summer of 1984 in Germany.
Oh wow!
I was there with we used to spend a lot of time in Germany, and we had friends there. And though there's lots of fun things about that, I just remember as a kid, especially when I was younger, you just get stuck with nothing to do. And it was just one of those points where I was like, can I watch TV? And my parents are like, what's the point? You're not going to find anything. And I was flipping stations, and one had Rocket Robin Hood on. And it just felt like it was like a Christmas present, a birthday present. Everything just rolled into one. Oh, that was a good time.
Yeah, and I liked that kind of stuff. Like and we're gonna get into to your book later as well too. But anything that's kind of like mythological or Old English or Norse, anything that harkens back to another time, I always find quite interesting. And with Rocket Robin Hood at least, they put that futuristic spin on it.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting touch. But like, I always like anything that's kind of grounded in this, because the stories are just great.
Yeah. Super simplified, and just, there's a lesson at the end kind of thing,
Yeah.
Plus,
more so at the end, but
the whole story with something like Robin Hood, though, it's kind of a great classic story about the underdog, about, the way that, the government, the upper class, there's that whole thing kind of treats everyone. And you can apply it to so many different eras. It's actually I think we had a conversation about this before. It's surprising that Robin Hood has, other than Rocket Robin Hood, has never really been transposed much into other time periods. Because you could put like Robin Hood into like 1920s, like gangster stuff. You could put it into the modern day, the future, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah,
it's interesting because I'm wondering if there was something I was watching, not to get too off tangent, but it's like we all kind of like back the characters of Robin Hood. But in real life, do we really relate more to like, the sheriff of Nottingham and so it's interesting because those are the characters that I guess in literature we would say, yeah, we're with Luke or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when you look at our daily lives, we're actually supporting the things that Luke's fighting against.
Oh yeah. We're Luke in the first movie where he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go to the academy. It's gonna be great. The Empire. I'm gonna like 3 square meals a day."
I think we're all a lot like Han Solo and Lando. We're in it for the money.
Yes,
looking out for ourselves. We have friends and we don't want to turn our back on them. But you know what?
I can't lie. When Billy D showed up in Empire, I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah,
definitely.
He was so smooth, man.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So Scott, what did you do with regards to Rocket Robin Hood? What was your, I guess, reconnection and stuff that you were drawing?
So I honestly, what started drawing the older stuff was my daughter wanted to watch Hercules, and she wanted to watch the Disney Hercules, and I said, well, if you're gonna watch Hercules, you need to watch the Mighty Hercules. I wanted that to be the first definitive, that's she has to think that's who Hercules is. So we found it on YouTube and we just started watching them all. And I started drawing as she's watching them. So I'm drawing away. And then, I drew one up, looked pretty good, made a print out of it. Had the print at one of the fan expos at Artist Alley, and then Steve Gaskin, the owner of Retro Kid, he saw it and said, "Hey, you think you could do some work for us?" And then over the years, I've done some work for them. So this actually is one of the Retro Kid T-shirts.
Nice.
I drew for them, and then and so doing stuff like that, and then I decided I'm going to go back and to do some of the Rocket Robin Hood myself, and just going through all the old cartoons and stuff that I watched. And when we were watching the Mighty Hercules one, credits are rolling up, and you see the character designed by George Peed, P-E-E or P-E-E-D, like Peed.
Nice.
That name stood out to me. I was like, wow, he didn't think about changing his name at all. So then I look him up, and he's the character designer. He designed the Hercules that you see, which is basically, Bruce Timm, credits that with sort of a base to like the Batman and Superman and like that look and stuff, right? And if you look at the colors, that's the Superman colors. So I'm thinking George based it on Superman of old, and so it's the cyclical thing. But then when I was looking up his name, this tangent will be done soon.
No, it's all right. It's a great tangent.
and his brother, whose name was Bill Pete, so he changed his name. He changed the D to a T, so he was William Pete, and Bill Pete or William Pete. He worked on Snow White and all kinds of Disney movies, and he was a Disney artist. So it all came right back. My daughter wanted to watch the Disney Hercules, and then I went into this tangent.
All full circle.
Yeah. So both awesome artists. If you ever get the chance to look up their work, they did a lot of storybooks and just so much more than just the movies. Lots of great stuff.
I'm just doing a quick fly through here, see if I can find the name.
Well, while you're looking, I got a question for Scott.
Yeah.
Was there ever Mighty Hercules comics?
Yes.
Oh.
I actually have. I should have.
It feels like the perfect thing that what's the company?
This isn't
Whitman?
set up. I didn't set this up. These are just always around. But I do have. So they are gold key.
Oh, the
Oh
gold key,
wow.
okay.
Okay, that makes total sense.
So there's
Yeah.
2 issues, gold key, and so they were 12 centers. And I'll just crack it open. So the style is really similar to the one that you know, right?
That's
Yep.
in great shape
But
too.
yeah, but it's even got a better. I don't know. Even the interior is even better.
Oh, that's great.
Than like the animated stuff, and then like look at the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it just real simple, nice.
It's crazy now though that you mentioned Bruce Timm taking inspiration from this design for Superman for his.
I'm certain I heard him.
No, because
say that?
you are absolutely correct because it's in there. On the Wikipedia page, it says when doing Superman the animated series, Bruce Timm was inspired by the design of Hercules and what became the design for Superman in the show. And every panel of the book that you just showed me,
Yeah,
I'm like, that's Superman from the animated
Yeah.
series.
like it's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's why it's close by my desk, because I look at it. Beautiful stuff. And I could not find them for a long time, and then when they popped up on eBay, I pulled the trigger and had to get them.
Oh yeah, and for anyone who is unaware, the Hercules in this iteration was, I guess, mild mannered until he put on his ring. He was like here's another hero of that age, Roger Ramjet, who had the proton pellets. Popeye, I guess, had his spinach, but Hercules had this ring.
Oh yeah.
And when he puts the ring, he was usually getting he was like wrestling. He usually getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
By some kind of kaiju or something. And then he'd have to put on the ring, he'd get all juiced up, and then he'd kick ass. Yeah.
It was the precursor to like He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Star,
Yes.
All those guys, they were taking that and going, okay, let's transform into, he didn't have a secret identity, but it's all there. Like all that stuff is all there. So, and that's honestly, that's where a lot of the inspiration for the Black Helm stuff comes from. Like it's got this Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah. Is Mighty Hercules older than like the Hanna-Barbera, like Mightor and that kind of stuff?
This is 63. These two books are 63. So
yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't really.
So if this is 63, I'm guessing because there was albums of it too. Like
yeah.
And I think if this came out in 63, you can think maybe it came out in 61 or 62.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of any other cartoons that were like, like a Hercules, a Thor, a Conan. I can't really think of any fantasy myth stuff outside.
I feel like this might be the first one because there's the Mighty Mightor.
Yep.
That stuff came after.
Yeah, that came after.
Transforming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Space Ghost. That was all like that's all at that time.
And it was really smart to add that whole ring aspect, though, just because that's kind of that wish fulfillment for kids.
Yes,
is you don't have to be Hercules; you just need the ring. And I remember as a kid getting a ring from like a bubblegum machine, and I had it for one afternoon. And where did I end up sticking it? I stuck it behind my belt. Because that's where he put it. And I remember getting home after playing and it was gone.
Oh,
just being heartbroken.
Oh, and you've never had your powers ever since.
I've never had my powers ever since. Yep.
And you went straight into being a writer.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to take the ring pops, those sucker rings.
Remember those? That's
those
right.
are done. That became. Remember those? Got one right here, man.
Oh, there you go. Oh, it's hilarious.
I had turned these into I would put my kids' Legos on them, like put like a square block on there, and then they could stand their person up on it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I had saved these, and they no longer want Dad to do that, so they're just
Everything's in phases, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting that like because it's now like clicking into my brain. I think Space Ghost was designed by Mike Toth. Am I getting that right?
Alex Toth.
Alex Toth.
Yeah.
Correct. And I didn't realize like that design for Space Ghost was basically like Guardian from Alpha Flight. Like the way the helmet is,
Yeah,
everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you're just like, oh, okay, because everyone is building off and scaffolding off of everybody else.
Yeah.
And so, and that's part of the beauty of the art form that we all kind of love and are now a part of, is that it's just like on the shoulders of giants, and then you get other giants afterwards as well too.
Yeah, I think you can take a lot of artists and you can like peel back. Like if you go through their work, you can see the people that they've been inspired by, and there's like there's a direct connection all the way. And I think people like Alex Toth and like Kirby are in a lot of people's work. Like
yeah, definitely.
And they worked. I don't know if they ever worked together on it, but they both worked on Thundar.
Yep.
I did not know that. That's amazing. I know it makes sense now. The way that Thundar is built.
Yeah.
That's very Kirby anatomy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I could be wrong, but I think Kirby like helped create that world. Like he was the main one on it.
Yeah.
And then Toth refined it or put it in more his Hanna-Barbera style, because there's a couple posters that you see, they're Kirby drawings. So it's Thundar, and I always thought as a kid that it was just a one-off. Did not realize he had more to do with it in the beginning than that other stuff.
Yeah. And Kirby was really great at even just building on himself, because Thundar, he kind of took like some of the best parts of Commandy. He was given a little bit of like direction, saying you got to bring some Star Wars into this. So there's where Ulok comes from, and
the Sun Sword,
like a Sun Sword. Yep, exactly.
Right.
We were talking about this just recently, how the original pitch for it was like a lot darker. It was the world had basically gone apocalyptic through nuclear war, and they allowed them to keep the world apocalyptic, but they said, let's just do like, what was it, a comet passing by?
Comet passes between that Kirby drawing up there.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
That's beauty right there.
And that's the thing, like you said about building on stuff. Like when I look at Ulok the Monk, it's not Monk, is it? It's Mock? Mock, yeah. I also see in that like Arthur Adams.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And so like Arthur Adams, like in one sense, you'd think he's so far off from Kirby, but you start getting that DNA going from Kirby to like Christopher Golden and it all comes together.
It's funny that you mentioned Golden, because I was watching Comic Tropes, and he had he was looking at Golden's influence, right? His career, and then who he influenced.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid that like I would get his, like some of the books would have his cover work on it.
Yeah.
And he was, if I'm not mistaken, like kind of like Micronauts.
Yep.
For the most part. Right.
Yeah.
And his style was like those, like just heavy blacks and just a certain way of drawing. And then I didn't put Golden and Adams together in terms of like the passage of the art connection. Yeah. But then when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, you can totally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see a lot of it too in his Nom covers and stuff. That work. But yeah, that was probably the first Micronauts, the New Adventures. I remember like off the spinner rack, that just was right. Those were the coolest covers. Yeah, he's one of those creators that I feel is a little bit like a missing link. It's that he, like at the time he was really popular, but he kind of faded a bit as it went into, you know, the beginnings of like the pre-image days, etc. And this is no disrespect, because obviously I like his work, but kind of he kind of got forgotten a little bit, kind of pushed to the side. And yeah, lots of people I think definitely were influenced by him.
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember my brother bought all those, and
Yeah,
they weren't my, you know, I wasn't reading them, but I was looking at them, and yeah, style. You know, that totally he would have influenced Todd McFarlane too.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I think
Todd admits it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just remember seeing some of the, like, just close up of the main. I can't remember the main character, blonde guy, I guess. He, like, just some of the faces looked like Peter Parker, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's weird, and both of you can speak to this. It's amazing that you sometimes then are influenced. Like, your art ends up looking like the people you really like. Like, I was a Romita, Byrne, Sal, Buscema.
Oh yeah, all those guys.
Right? Those are, because, like, you go to my comic book collection, it's Spider-Man, it's Hulk, it's FF Alpha Flight.
I'm impressed you said Sal before John.
Yeah, man.
Sal was awesome.
Yeah.
Sal was awesome, and
Yeah,
this is something that I read later, because if you look at him as in terms of like draftsmanship, maybe it's not as good as his brother, right? Because, like, John was a giant.
Yeah.
But there was something that Jim Lee said where Jim was like, when you first look at Sal's work, you're like, it's good, it's great, but it's not anything that, like, maybe stirs, gives you butterflies. I'm just paraphrasing, not a direct quote. But then when Jim got into the business, and he's like, he did all these books, and he did all of these in a month, because, like, Sal, he was a machine. Right, he was doing, like, Marvel team up and
I think he loved it.
And Hulk.
Oh yeah,
Rom loved it, right? Didn't he loved it? Whereas I think John did too, but he didn't like superheroes. Like, that's what I hear, is that he didn't like drawing spandex superhero stuff.
Yeah.
So give him Conan, he's happy,
and you know, the world is better for it.
Yeah.
I think when he really stood out to me was, and I think I talked to you about this, Jeff, was Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yep.
There was a run in there where he was, his style kind of just changed. It wasn't like, it was
became
just
more angular, right?
More angular. Like, that was when they created like Tombstone and
and I remember at the time going, I don't like this, but it didn't take long for me to go, I love this. Like,
well, and that's one of those things I remember, because that was around the same time that Todd was getting really popular.
Yeah.
And I remember going over to a buddy's house, and he's like, I got a bunch of new Spider-Mans. And I was really excited about it, because I thought it was going to be like Todd McFarlane or something. And they were Spectacular Spider-Mans. And I remember going, oh, you got that title kind of thing, which now I laugh at myself, because I just didn't, you know, I wasn't sophisticated enough to appreciate it.
Right.
But now I go back and try to, you know, back issue dive and get those.
Yeah, it's amazing, because, like, I grew up on his Hulk, and some of my favorite issues that he drew were inked by Ernie Chan.
Oh,
yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like around the 220, 219 or the teens. And there was just, like, you know, inkers, I don't think, get enough credit. For what they can do. And sometimes they get all the blame when they ruin someone's pencils.
Yeah.
But, like, Sal just delivered, like, no one can do someone getting, like, absolutely hammered by a haymaker punch.
Yeah.
Like Sal. Like, he just was able to put it on the page, and you felt it. And Hulk was a perfect book for him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain artists that I just associate certain versions of characters with. And when I think of Savage Hulk, I think of Sal doing those lines on Hulk's face. And if he doesn't have those lines, he's not Savage Hulk.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. Because he went from, like, a kind of normalish looking quasi Banner, Savage Banner look.
Yeah, what if it been Trimp?
Yeah.
For him?
Yes. Yeah, it was him, and then he took over around like 197 or 195,
Yeah.
around there. And then as he got towards to the 300, where he became
Yep.
Savage Hulk,
Yep.
and he just made these subtle changes.
Those little changes, yeah.
Face where like the nose and the top lip were further apart,
Yeah.
and they had lines that would go up to show like just a distressed face.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just great stuff.
Yeah. And it's those little touches too, like when you do draw, there's certain little key things that I know when I draw certain characters, I want to pick up on those little things, like that wider lip, those little extra lines that Sal would have put in. And then depending on what, like I said, what version, it's like if I was to sit down and I wanted to do Grey Hulk, my Grey Hulk would probably be Todd McFarlane's, and I start pulling out the brow, making that bigger, and little things like that. Yeah.
I think my Hulk is like a Sal. I think that's the one I go with.
Oh yeah.
Well, just what comes.
But there is a lot of good Hulks though.
There are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like Dale did a pretty good Hulk. Capullo did a variant cover not too long ago that was banger. Like Kirby's Hulk's great.
Yeah.
There was
John
Byrne's a great Hulk, and I think Neil Adams did one for Defenders, and it was like that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
it was on a Defenders cover. Sal's brother John drew a pretty decent Hulk.
Oh yeah.
But interesting that you mentioned that, and now we're talking about John. I think it was in Crimson Tide or one of those submarine movies with Denzel.
Okay. Yeah,
and he was the character was. I might be misquoting this or whatever, but he was saying that. The definitive Silver Surfer is not Jack Kirby's, it's John Buscema's. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah. And I you want to know something? I relate to that a lot. I totally remember that scene. Because I remember my cousin growing up, he had those Buscema Silver Surfers.
Yeah.
And there was something about him that I don't know. Like the pathos. You could just see it in that surfer.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's his angles too, right? It's just
totally.
Well, I think of that cover. Do you
anatomy.
know which cover I'm talking about? If I'm thinking about my favorite Silver Surfer, John Buscema.
For me, it's Thor versus Silver Surfer. That's my favorite.
That's the one. Yeah.
Like that's one of the most iconic covers.
Yeah. It's just
What's that one? What's that cover?
Oh, I'll pull it up. It's their battle cover.
Once I see it, I'll know it.
You'll know it for sure. But I think it's
number 4.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Either 4 or 5. Yeah.
You know who did do a good surfer? Ron Garney.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was a good run.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then there's
Ron Garney. I don't think gets enough credit as an artist. He's like Lee Weeks.
Yeah.
Cover.
Oh.
Yeah.
That cover has everything that I want. Like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that, and it was just like on the Rainbow Bridge, Asgard in the background, the Kirby crackle. Yep. I think is there Kirby crackle going on? Yeah, there's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's when I draw a surfer. Mine's the John.
Yeah.
Like it's me trying to draw a John Buscema surfer.
Yeah.
And I think it's like there's a darkness of the eyes, almost like eyeliner or whatever, but like and he does that too with Conan. I realize that's there's like a darker line underneath there, and that's what gets that, looks like his forehead must be that deep the shadows, but almost like a little domino mask.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I meant when I said like versus the Kirby one. It's just Buscema, like that face with like the extra black on there and stuff.
Yeah.
It just gave him that tortured soul.
An alien. Like he's got
an alien. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so hard too when you don't have a character that has like hair and eyebrows.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And all those things, right? That you can then use to convey emotion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up a picture here. And to be able then to kind of get it without sacrificing not only just like your line work or whatever, and to get all that kind of, as you were saying, the pathos in there, then you're kind of like, yeah, okay, you've really nailed it. And I think this picture, this one to me kind of says it all.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, there it is.
you know what this dude's feeling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just good stuff. Just good stuff, for sure. So, with this as your, I don't know, tutelage, the things that got you guys thinking about stuff. Tell us about how this plays into Black Helm.
Well, for me, John Buscema was like he was my favorite artist growing up. That's the one that my brother would get Savage Sword of Conan, and then I would try and read his books, and he'd like, "Don't touch my books." And then my grandpa was like, "Get your own comics." And then I go into Mustard's Variety. That was the name of the variety store. That's where you get your comics.
Nice.
On the spinner rack, looking at everything, and there was the colored Conan comics. So my brother got the big black and white ones.
Yeah.
And then I just went and got the colored ones. So that's where I was reading his stuff like that. And so Conan's been the book for me all the way through. And then He-Man showed up, and Thundar and all that sort of stuff. So and He-Man and Hercules and all that. And then so when it came time to work on this, I had worked on some other stuff, and I wanted to get back to just drawing a sword and sorcery kind of book. And instead of making it exactly the same, I always liked Norse mythology. Loved reading it as a kid. Still like reading it. Kind of used that as the backdrop, and then kind of just amalgamated this idea, and it sort of like percolated for a couple of years. And then after one fan expo, we're driving back, Jeff and I said, "Would you want to work on this with me?" And he said yes.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great stuff. So, Jeff,
Yeah.
what was it about it that was like, I got to work on it on this with Scott?
I think it was, I think part of it was just our combined love of, old cartoons and old comics. And even one of the initial things we had talked about was doing it more episodic or old school, in the sense that you can jump in. Like, obviously we only have one issue out so far, but ultimately the goal is that when issue 2 comes out, if it's someone's first time picking up the book, it's the same attitude that whether it would be, what is it, Ruby, what's the cartoon company? Can't think of it now. Ruby Franks? I'm getting all mixed up. Or like even Stan Lee talking about it. If it's someone's first comic,
I know where you're going with this, right?
That they're not completely lost.
Yes.
And with that attitude, it's the same thing that would have happened with Thundar, He-Man, Midor, Hercules, that you could just kind of jump in and enjoy it. And when I think about my experience, probably, back in the 90s, first reading Hellboy, or different titles like that, you could generally jump into them. Like, I remember just saying, like, oh yeah, telling someone to pick up, what is it, the Wolves, I can't even think of the name now, but kind of the second one shot that came out. And it's just like, yeah, jump into this. You don't have to know any Hellboy. You'll enjoy this. And that's that attitude, that the two of us could create something that someone could jump in and very quickly go, okay, this guy is the hero. There's going to be this adventure going on. And hopefully it's just like, it's a good, enjoyable ride. Yeah.
And so for fans who haven't been introduced to the world of Black Helm, what's it about?
You want me to try?
Go for it. You've got it all practiced.
You're supposed to be able to have a really good pitch.
Yeah.
And
you could just play Jason if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, we do have audio. Jason. I wrote out what it would sound like and or what we wanted it to be, and he just read it back and he sent it to me.
Yeah, we're talking about Jason from Group of Seven.
Got it.
But I'm not going to do that to him.
No.
What I will do is I will probably read out what I wrote.
Yeah, do it.
At one point. So basically, after surviving Ragnarok, the last Viking warrior, Black Helm, battles the monsters of the dark until the sun can rise again. Takes place after Ragnarok has happened. One last Viking's alone, and he is trying to keep what population is still there alive. And it's just a matter of like, the evil just keeps coming, and he's trying to protect this one group of humanity, and
And it gives us this wonderful, little toy box of myth and stories that, you can just jump into and paint that picture. So the first issue is the Beast in the Woods, or the Beast in the Wood. Sorry, now I'm even messing it up, and I freaking wrote it. Beast of the Wood.
Sometimes when you're so close to it, it's like.
And my last name is Woods, so that's probably.
And that's the other thing. Yeah. And but yeah, no, he basically, there's a little girl. She's in the woods and she's trying to find her lost pup. And pup happens to be a wolf, but nevertheless, she's worried about what dark creature might exist there. And she runs into this guy along with something else. And spoiler, she makes it home okay.
Yeah, part of the pitch to Jeff was I wanted it to be, 3 panels a page, splash pages. Just wanted it to feel like it was a Saturday morning cartoon, so it's going to speed along fast.
Right.
Couple things, it scratches that itch of getting to do big landscapes and like big epic drawings and stuff, and makes it a fast read. Feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. And then he inevitably added more than 3 panels per page. So,
but even when I did, though, I made sure that they were nice and simple. So knowing that I did not want to torture Scott, I made sure to kind of thumbnail kind of ideas to make sure I wasn't giving him just too much to cram in, because nothing's worse than, trying to cram 20 pages of story into like a single panel. Actually, with that, I decided to generally forego with exposition. So there's no like extra narration. Well, I guess there's a little bit of narration at the beginning, because that's our little nod to old things like Conan, like the beginning of the movie. But outside of that, if it's not dialogue, the story's being told visually. And again, going back to some of my favorite comics, Jeff Smith's Bone. Like Jeff Smith's Bone, because again, another individual that's so influenced by like animation and things like Walt Kelly, that he knows that, really good visual storytelling, you should be able to look at panels and let the gutter do the work for you, rather than have to bog it down with too much prose.
It's interesting too, because I'm looking at this image and you mentioned Saturday morning cartoons. This reminds me, or has a vibe of like Samurai Jack.
Oh,
I love hearing that. Because
that's not even one of my, like, I definitely watched it, but that wouldn't even have crossed my mind. But
like what's his name? I can never remember his name, but he has another cartoon called
I gotta look it up, because I know the one you're talking about.
The one with the caveman and the dinosaur.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And it's just brilliant.
Yeah, that's great.
And that show has no dialogue.
No, exactly. It's oh my gosh.
One word.
Tartakovsky is his name.
Yeah.
And I gotta remember what's the other one? It's called Primal.
Primal, yes.
Oh yeah.
Primal,
Primal is so good.
Yeah.
Jendi, that was the name I was trying to remember. So yeah, Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, when you're bringing up Samurai Jack, that's kind of one of those feels because again, he's a creator that, again, he's coming from like he watched Thundar, he watched all those old cartoons. Like, there's no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And even with this image, like I said to Scott, like this one, I said, oh, I just picture this panel as being classic Kirby, and that's where like the little goblin kind of looking over his shoulder towards the viewer.
Yeah, absolute classic.
It just, it's one of those things growing up, like whether it was Hunger Dogs or Fourth World, etc. I just loved that.
And like other influences too, like back to who's the Ralph
Bakshi?
Yeah, he did Lord of the Rings.
Yes, yeah, he did.
These goblins and stuff, their look is from I was looking at that movie, like I was watching that in the background one time when I was drawing, and then I was like looking at inspired by the way those characters looked, and they had those round eyes, those bright round eyes, because I just added it in because I was like, I like that look, especially when you're gonna do these silhouettes. All this, like, it just adds to it, you know.
And it's interesting because like the power of the silhouette, I think, has been lost a little bit, because a lot of the work that we're looking at now, and this is not a criticism, it's just, you know, it just is what it is. Like a lot of it's like cartoon inspired, manga inspired, where it's more like zip tone, electrotone, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to like heavy deep blacks that you would have gotten from the artwork that inspired like the Toths and the Kirbys. Right. And I even think of like, I remember reading a couple of his books, but it didn't speak to me, was like Gene Colan. And how he used blacks. Right. And he, to me, was almost like he used, as a kid, for me, there's almost too many blacks. But now as an adult, I'm like, man, that guy was killing it.
Definitely.
Right? And so the silhouette and what can be done with a silhouette, and I'm gonna go to, I think it's this one as well too.
It's because you're scared. I think when you're younger,
you're
scared of the. You don't want to put those heavy. You don't want to ruin your work, you know. And
exactly. And like this image right here, right? It's like one half of a piece. You have everything you need to know, right? And even so, I'm not sure if it was in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way or whatever, but I know that one of the things is like, if you can put a character in silhouette and you know exactly who they are, then you've accomplished, like, mission accomplished. Right.
That's part of the reason with the design of the character. I gave him the wings from his beard and his hair,
right?
Just to get that, like, just to make him a little bit more distinct, not just you know, another guy with a giant beard. Also, during COVID, I let my beard go, and I did have wings, so I do have pictures of it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's interesting even talking about like with the silhouettes and stuff. When you artists that I have lots of respect for, they've done great things, but when you go back to the early days of Image, there's a lot of characters outside of maybe, well, Spawn, Savage Dragon. There's certain ones that were pretty good at it, but when you get into kind of like the mess of Wildcats / Stormwatch and Brigade and Youngblood, and there was just a million characters, a lot of them kind of had the same silhouette. Like, they were really differentiated by those little extra details and stuff on them, but not necessarily breaking it down that Tothian kind of strong, you know, iconic kind of look. And so it's interesting as you go through time and, you know, people being the great decider of what's going to stick around. The ones that have stuck around are things like Spawn and Savage Dragon that have that really great, strong silhouette, presence, whatever you want to call it.
It's like Darwin Cook, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's a good point.
he's gonna be around forever. Like he's solidified, right? Like his style. His was direct connection to the older guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hugo Pratt, Milton Caniff, Paul Pope, all those guys doing their heavy blacks and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think the key to it, and because it's almost like that with writing too, where it's you keep the old and make it new.
Yeah.
Understand what I mean? And because that's what freshens it up. Because like I love anime, I love manga, but I also like my old school stuff. And then when you find someone who can kind of connect it, and I think that's where Bruce Timm kind of had one foot in the past and then a foot in the present.
Yep.
Right? Because he was emulating Kirby a lot. And then also like the Fleischer cartoons and stuff like that. But it still was like it was fresh, right? Yeah. So when we got the animated series, Batman the animated series, when would that have been, like early 90s or something?
93, I want
93 or 94.
93, yeah.
Right?
94. Yeah.
89 was the movie, right?
Was the movie. So they would have needed that kind of time to ramp up to do the animation and to develop and everything. But it was stuff that we'd never seen because we were coming out of that Filmation type timeline. Yeah. Or you were watching a whole load of anime or G.I. Joe type stuff.
Yeah.
With the Robotechs and Transformers and, Gotcha Man would have been 20 years prior, but it looked a certain way. And then you got this kind of like, almost like how Miami Vice did the retro look, like they went for the big boxy suits, which was kind of noir, but they were doing noir in the 80s.
Yep.
That's what Bruce Timm was doing with Batman, the animated series.
Yeah. And when that's done well, it changes everything. And then Miami, like you said, Miami Vice then all of a sudden influences everyone else to want to do that.
Where we're watching it now. We're watching Miami Vice now, like with Bad Boys and anything else that's come out of that.
Yep.
That's all the first 2 seasons of that TV show.
Yeah. Miami Vice, who's the creator? It's
Yurkovich created it, but Michael Mann was
Michael Mann. That's who I was trying to think of. So yeah. Like Michael Mann on that. That's
and had shows almost. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you, man. It's because you're talking about the character that you wanted to be, and you're like everyone wanted to be Han, and you wanted to be like Lando.
Yeah.
When you start, for me, I was like, I like Luke. Luke is my guy.
Yeah.
And then by Empire, I'm like, because you're a little bit older, you're like Han and Lando. Man. They're So Vice starts. You love Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah.
But as I'm an old guy now, I'm like, it was Castillo, man.
Yeah.
Oh, like, definitely. Yeah.
Never raised his voice. He plays a ninja and a police chief. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's like when you watch Battlestar Galactica came back.
Oh, yeah, man.
ESG, it's like, I'm the Admiral.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be the hotshot pilot. Forget that noise.
Yeah, forget being Starbuck or whomever. Give me Adama, man.
Yeah.
And what a great performance. Like when I think about it, like you're talking about, he just has that cool collected. So then on Battlestar, those few times that he would get upset, it just had so much impact.
It means something.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? It's like think about like when you set up your pages, right?
Yep.
If everything's a splash page, then when something really is amazing, it gets diluted.
Yeah.
You do it like a heartbeat or whatever the pacing that you're going with, and then it really has an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it about Norse times, Vikings that had you set Black Helm in that time period? What was it? Like, like sometimes it's like Westerns, and I love Westerns. I like the outlaw nature of stuff. I'm making that kind of story.
I think it's just I grew up Northern Ontario, always in the country. Like when I was in the Ottawa Valley, when I was really young, we were in the country. My brother and I would go back to the bush and just cross creeks and farm fields, and just like that's what you did for 8 hours, and then you come home.
Right.
Like that was us. And so just I was like the outdoors and like played D&D as a kid. So you got that, sword and sorcery kind of stuff, the Conan stuff. And I just always, I've been to Scotland and England and Ireland, and you just when you're up in the Highlands and stuff, and there's a vibe, you know.
Right.
So I like all that stuff. So it's all that stuff that I liked, and I was like, I'd like to, if you're gonna draw something, why not draw in a world that you really like, you know, like why not create, and you can do, and that's the thing about Ragnarok has happened. You can do anything you want with it. Nothing ties you into history. It's before recorded history. You can have, you know, giant castles here that doesn't make sense or whatever, what have you. And so, yeah, it's just sort of an open playground, I think is what it comes down to. And I've read a lot about it. So I've got this knowledge I got to do something with. So, yeah.
And Jeff, what did you draw on as you were scripting it?
For me, it comes from D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
I wanted to see if one of you went there.
Oh, yeah. And for me, when I think about fantasy, I think of high fantasy, and then I think of dark fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And Norse stuff just fits because it's less, you know, like, not that I don't like elves, I don't like dragons, I like that part. But this is trolls, this is dwarves, this is even fitting into like grim fairy tales. It's just that darker part of fantasy. And as a kid, I was kind of more interested in that dark side rather than, you know, like Cinderella's castle. So it's less the knight in shining armor and more, you know, like the barbarian warrior fighting the troll out in the moor kind of thing.
Right.
Or the fjord in this case.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think other than like reading Thor comics, my cousin's Thor comics, it was Beowulf for me.
Yeah.
As a kid. And then I love mythology, period. So then I then got deeper into it. And to me, I find it absolutely fascinating because when you look at any kind of mythology, like it's basically superheroes from that time, but it's all about humanity and human frailty and the ugliness of humanity. And sometimes those trolls and ogres or the dragons, they're metaphors for us.
Yeah.
And the things that we have to slay every day.
Yeah.
But they may not necessarily breathing fire at you.
Yeah, and then like you say, the ugliness of like there's so much backstabbing, especially.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like
yeah.
There are superhero soap operas, you know, they're dramas, tragedies, and there's so much that you can pull from. And again, like being able to just pick and choose whatever you want to bring forth, you know, like, oh, this character survived, and now you can have like maybe Loki's still around, you know, like you can do whatever you want with it. And then people will still bring their own knowledge, you know, to it, what they know of Norse mythology. They'll just like, if something's not there, they'll just put it in themselves. They can just sort of add the pieces in. So,
and one of the nice things too is because this is all that kind of Germanic base, it slightly starts to weave into, you know, all the different tribes from England up through Iceland, in through Scandinavia, etc. They all have their little variations upon it. And I know a big one for me, even though this is more getting into Welsh and Celtic, but it still is associated, is Lloyd Alexander books, the Praeden Chronicles. Okay. So the famous part being book 2, which was the Black Cauldron.
Right.
Which Disney infamously kind of destroyed the book, but I still love the movie anyway, even though it's kind of different.
Right.
But those books as a kid, just flipping them open and looking at the map and the Horned King and all of that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's a cousin, but it still gets associated because of the way that everything kind of spread through. But yeah,
for sure. And so when you two were crafting this, were there any films in the genre that you hearken to? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Viking film. It could be a sword and sorcery film, anything like that.
Well, not necessarily film, but I definitely had watched the Vikings hit on the History Channel, like that series. I watched that all the way through. And
that's a great series.
Yeah, and now I'm watching the Valhalla one. And I'm enjoying that as well. So that I'll have that on the background. But I would go onto Tubi and I would look up Viking movies, and I cannot remember one of them. I think I sent it to you, Jeff. It was old.
It's the Ring of the Nebulum. Or how do you?
It's not. Yeah, it's live action, right? It was
live action. Yeah,
it was. Was it German?
It's German. Yeah.
So it's all subtitled.
Okay.
And it's from the, I want to say 60s.
Yeah, 1960s for sure.
And it has like, they had a budget because everything looks great in it. Like it looks like something like Ben-Hur, right? Like it looks like that kind of quality.
Right.
Yeah, I just had that on in the background, and it was sort of a very, so when you read the old Norse mythology books, it's not the same, right? Like the Vikings aren't wearing, they're not in like heavy, chainmails or anything like that, or skins and stuff like that. They're in like, they look more like they're Greek or Roman. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's what this one's kind of done. Like it's sort of like a very polished looking version. But I really enjoyed that because it was just so old. And they had some good fight scenes on it, and just the landscapes and stuff that their architecture, all that sort of stuff.
I think was it Siegfried?
Siegfried, that's what it is.
Yeah, Siegfried.
Yeah.
So yeah, part 1 Siegfried, and the second one is Kriemhild's Revenge.
Yeah,
great. That's a great title for the second.
Oh, they're good. Yeah. But yeah, I never pronounce this right. Lungen, or however you say it. But it's the whole epic poem.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what's cool about it. It's the one where is it Sigurd or Siegfried? Siegfried, I guess.
Siegfried. Yeah.
And is he son of Sigurd or something like that? But anyway, he's the one that he's bathing and a leaf lands on his back, and it's the only part he bathes in this water. He bathes in the water, and it's supposed to like make him invulnerable.
So he's Achilles,
and a leaf falls on his. Yeah.
You're always
a leaf falls on one spot, and so when he gets up, the leaf falls off. So there's one spot that's his weak point, and then just goes through his whole tale and stuff like that.
And this would be the same poem that oh my gosh, what's the famous composer, German, did Flight of the Valkyries, all of that.
Wagner.
So Wagner would have based all of that off this exact same poem.
Okay, cool.
So it has Brunhild and the Norns and all of that goodness in there.
Yeah. Other movies, there was the it was Grendel versus Beowulf. That one.
For me, one of the big things is just the Beowulf story in general. I love the idea of with the longhouse and the darkness, and the monster keeps coming, and it's one of those great. It's the fantasy version of the Aristocrats, just in the sense that everyone has their own little version of it. So like, there's all these different versions of Beowulf out there. Even like Neil Gaiman with American Gods, he has like a short story that's outside the book, where I can't remember what the character's name is now. He has a catchy name too, but he travels and basically gets involved with the whole Beowulf Grendel thing. You had mentioned earlier before 13th Warrior.
That's one of my faves.
And again, that's another one of those versions of the Beowulf story.
Yeah.
And just so what's the word I'm gonna underappreciated. Like, I feel like so many people just don't know about it.
Yeah, the 13th Warrior, that's a flick with Antonio Banderas, and it was, I guess one of the films that he was doing after he had, started doing English language films. And the cool thing I liked about it, and this sticks with me to this day, was it starts out like when he learns their language, and how the filmmaker uses their language and his language, and then you realize that he then becomes fluent in their language by how the dialogue and everything changes. It's great storytelling.
Such a cool story. And yeah, it's one of the ones that I feel like outside of when you brought it up, I feel no one ever talks
No one
about
talks about that. I think it's like my writing partner and I, we talk about it because like we're nerds for that movie.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones, those hidden gems where you're like, yeah, that one was good. But there's always something that slips through the cracks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually pull up some of the I guess more popular ones or some of the best. And so I don't know if you've seen The Northman.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was gonna say when we were talking about it earlier. The Northman's just so beautiful.
It's so good. It's beautiful, and like Anna Taylor-Joy is becoming like the Gene Hackman of our generation, or the Meryl Streep, because like she's in everything.
Yeah,
and she's good.
That's the thing. If you see her name, you're like, oh, like at worst, this is going to be better than most movies. Which, not to beat up on people, but I was saying that there's a certain Doctor Who that now, even though I absolutely loved him on Doctor Who, whenever I see him put in a movie, I just go, oh, damn, this movie's going to suck. But she's the exact opposite.
I think I know of whom you speak.
I don't want to disparage him, though, because I do really like him.
Yeah. But like even...
But I think I know who you're talking about. And I will say every role he plays, he's fantastic in his roles. The movie might not do well.
Yeah.
But he's been very good in everything.
Yeah, but have you seen Morbius?
No.
Okay. We'll leave it.
Maybe there's a reason I might not want to watch the He-Man movie.
I'm just teasing.
Well, it's kind of interesting because like I'm not ragging on Sony. It's just because I'm a Spider-Man fan. Both Morbius and Craven, I'm like, and Madam Web, I'm like, you can kind of miss me with those. Yeah. And you're right. Like, it's almost like there are some actors that you just know, like, I'm taking a chance on this. Whereas there are other actors where it's like, they're in it.
Thing.
This is going to be a banger.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you made me think of. I know what I was thinking of with the Northman. Actually, there's some influence directly in that main spread. The volcano scene in it. That's what inspired me directly when writing that page saying, Scott, I want to have them fighting the goblins at the base of this volcano.
Nice.
And if you know the scene from the Northman, yeah,
it's great.
Just
great.
I'll admit I had not watched the Northman before drawing it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jason Pettis kept saying, "Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet?" He kept.
So have you watched it,
Jason? I've watched it.
Okay.
I just never told him about it because I want him to keep asking me.
Okay.
And then I'll ask vague questions about it. I'm like, really? Is that what happened? I don't know.
Yeah, but like there's some great flicks. And this is a genre, I think, that almost defies the time that it's made. Like, these films could be made at any time. It could be done in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, the 90s, because it's not a genre that relies heavily on like special effects. Like, VFX is not huge. It's about setting, it's about the circumstances and how it's shot.
Yeah,
that matters. Definitely. You know, like superheroes pre, let's say, I don't know, 80, 85, or even 90s. You go pre 90s, or even it's like, hard, too far between, because it's hard to do the stuff that these characters can do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think, like, what superhero, like the original Superman.
Donner's Superman?
Donner's Superman's a big deal. But for the most part, it's an outlier. For me, at first I want to say Tim Burton's Batman. But then even going there, I want to jump forward even to Blade.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain point where the majority of them weren't that good.
And
Oh, yeah.
I will mention it because I think it's such a not a superhero movie, but it kind of is. The Crow.
Oh, Crow.
Oh, The Crow,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
To me, that was the best comic adaptation to
So
date.
that's-
And honestly,
I would
it
say-
still holds up. It's still
I would
great.
say that's the era then for sure, because
Yeah.
between Tim Burton's Batman,
89.
the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie,
Oh, still stands the test of time.
yeah, what is it? Proyas, I think, was the one that directed The Crow.
Mhm.
It was that kind of when they brought in like it was especially a lot of the indie characters, the darker kind of stuff. Yeah, because even actually now that I think about it, even though I was kind of picking Blade because that's kind of the beginning of the modern superhero movie,
Mhm.
that still actually has a lot of genetics. To
Yes.
that same.
But it really is the first that made people go,
Yeah.
this could work. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
If you can do something awesome with Blade, no, which I love Blade,
I
don't
love
get me
Blade too,
wrong,
like-
but no one knew who Blade was.
Sure.
Yeah. outside of us.
Yeah. Well, again, because I don't want to
Yeah.
like diss that, because like growing up, like you're talking about Gene
Colan. Yeah.
and those Dracula issues and stuff.
And then you jump into Venture Brothers. Like they've got their Blade.
Scott, Venture Brothers is absolute gold. It's,
I know,
it just
Yeah.
doesn't get enough love. Venture
No,
Brothers
no.
is on point,
It's-
man.
yeah. It is,
and it has so much depth
Oh,
oh,
yes.
so much.
to the point, like when you get into those, like the later seasons or the final movie and stuff, that it's just like, holy crap, I got to rewatch this whole thing and take some notes, because
Yeah.
it's just, whew.
I would try to put that on as a background
Yeah, you
Man.
can.
draw, and you have
Man.
to watch it. You just
Gotta
have to
turn
watch
around
it.
and watch.
And then you end up like 3 episodes go by, and you're like, "Whoa, I guess I got to go to bed." Like,
Yep.
it's too late
Yeah.
now.
Venture Brothers, because what they do is they take all the tropes, right?
And they don't stop. They're just like
they just keep
just
going,
keep going. Yeah.
right? And it's like the way they parody the FF, the way they parody
Yeah.
$6 Million Man and Sasquatch,
Oh my gosh.
the way they parody Johnny Quest. They take everything that we're talking about,
Yeah.
from Hanna-Barbera and Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
and they just subvert it on
Yeah.
another level. They're so good.
Yeah.
Right down to the Monarch sounds like He-Man. Like, or it sounds like Skeletor,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Like just
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
Alan Oppenheimer?
yeah, Oppenheimer.
Yeah. And Oppenheimer, he's Dr. Rudy Wells from $6 Million Man.
Oh,
He's the
my
first one.
gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And then he did he's done animation like
Yep.
after he left the show. So it's like it's when you're really smart and then you can execute
Yeah.
Yeah.
how smart you are that you end up with that kind of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And being able to apply your misspent youth, just
Yes.
watching cartoons and reading comic books.
Absolutely. Yeah. There was
not misspent at all.
Exactly.
no, not at all. There's a lot that we've been able to kind of mine for it to make our
Yeah, for sure.
adult lives pretty good.
And like a live action version of that sort of is like, I find, Arrested Development. Like it.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, keep going.
Mhm.
Become a parody of itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think it's Doc Hammer. I think he's one of the creators of Venture Brothers, and he said that their like overarching theme was failure. Right? It's all about failure,
Okay. Yeah.
Nailed
and he like nailed it, like
Yeah.
absolutely. But then when you think of Arrested Development, it's all about failing,
Yeah.
right? And some of the characters that we love, like the George Costanzas and whatnot,
Yep.
it's how are they going to fail? They've taken like the Charlie Brown characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
put them on another level, like totally amp them up.
Yeah.
'cause that's
I
the-
always think. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like with Seinfeld, like Jerry he was always winning, you know, like he never had any real. And then when he did have a failure, it was hilarious because it was so rare. He was just always like, everything was just, yeah, he's gonna be fine. I'll be fine. And then finally, he wasn't.
Just shake it off.
Yeah.
I always think we love those characters and we love those stories because it allows us to work through our own
Oh yeah.
insecurities, and it's just like it's my same attitude when it comes to like horror films and things
Mhm.
that are dark, or even like sad songs, we're drawn to them
Yes.
because we get to work through our own insecurities and mortality through them.
Oh yeah, you take like blues or country
Yep.
songs. It might be a little bit different now, but like in a blues song, you're either like you've lost your woman,
Yeah.
or you've lost money, or the country song, your dog's left you, or something, right? So everything's about being at the bottom,
Yep.
and you're right, it's a form of therapy, and
Yeah.
like I think the beauty of Marvel more so than DC
Yeah.
was they had characters to fit every strata of individual that might be picking up a book.
Yeah.
So you've got people that can connect to everyman Peter Parker.
Yep.
And then you've got people who are maybe aspirational to be Tony Stark, but then he had an absolute albatross around his neck with the heart condition, right? And then you had your gods like Thor, you have your tortured people like Banner. And so there were so many different characters that you can relate to.
Yeah.
Whereas DC, everyone's almost like an archetype.
Yeah.
Like I
And
can't
they're-
really tell you what Barry Allen is outside of the
They weren't
Flash.
flawed. They weren't
Yeah.
flawed, and they all were interchangeable. They looked the same. You know, put that suit on the other guy, and you know, Batman and Superman look the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
And when
Literally.
DC, like when DC, I always would think would hit it right, it would be the Titans. When
that's my favorite.
you know, with
favorite DC
Cyborg and Robin, and they're all working through stuff,
Mhm.
or you know, like the JLI, you
Yep.
got Booster and Beetle and Guy, and they're all flawed, or
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, like any of those things. That's when people really relate to them. Whereas, like, I love Superman, I love those guys, but
Sure.
they're the gods of Olympus.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
their story always needs to be so amped up and so, you know.
Yeah. But that said, the best, like for example, the best Superman stories are the ones where he's grounded in Clark. The
Right.
best Batman stories are the ones where he's grounded in being like a very broken human that never really recovered his parents' death.
Yeah.
But those weren't really things that they did in the 60s, and even I guess they started to touch upon in the 70s
With Neil Adams, I think.
with Neil Adams. That's what I was
and
thinking
Denny
too.
O'Neil, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like the stuff with the Ra's al Ghul and stuff like that. They started to, but I guess it was the backlash from the Silver Age and the show, right?
And they lost a lot of sales to Marvel during that time.
Mhm.
Marvel was they just kept hitting it out of the park.
Was that not what did not Stan Lee say that he didn't want to work for Marvel anymore? He was done. He wanted to move on, and because they were writing characters a certain way.
Oh yes, when it started,
and he wanted to write flawed characters.
Well, he wanted to be the thing that happens to a lot of people in comics is he wanted to do legitimate writing, that kind of thing. And his boss at the time, who I'm trying to think of his famous name, oh my gosh, but he basically came to him and said, "Hey, we want to rework our comics. We're not going to do the same horror comics. We're not going to do the same romance. Whatever you want to do, do whatever you want." Stan was thinking about quitting. He went home, talked to his wife, and his wife said, "You want to know something? Give it a go. What's the worst that could happen?
Write whatever you want." And then
and then he went back and Spidey, the Fantastic Four, Thor, etc. And damn, what a good choice that he made.
Some solid advice.
Listen to your wives, everyone. Listen to your wives.
That's the takeaway.
Yeah, for sure. And I think about how, like, it's almost like it's like Hamlet's and Macbeth's, but as comic book characters.
Yep.
Right? Where there's doubt and you might have ambition that makes you topple or whatever. Because like you think of Thor is written as like the most arrogant of characters, and he's brought back to earth, so to speak, by being Donald Blake, who has a disability.
And I think that's my favorite version of Thor. Like, I think that's my favorite when he was, he'd have to switch, again, he's got the walking stick. It turns into the hammer. Like, there's that transformation, aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting you mentioned that, because I really enjoy Thor, but I think I miss, like you're saying, and I know they've kind of moved away from secret identities and all that kind of stuff, but I miss the thing that made Thor, which was Asgard,
Mhm.
and having that as a place to go
Mhm.
and a community of people that were his own. And like he comes into the Avengers and he's, revered. He goes home and he's just Thor who has to deal with his conniving brother
Yeah.
and his overbearing dad who goes to sleep for a millennia every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right?
And Odin's a real jerk in the comics.
He's an absolute ass. Like, yeah. Yeah. And so you miss that kind of stuff.
He's all knowing. He's all knowing.
Right?
How could he not? How could he not be a little arrogant?
Talk to the eye or whatever that thing is floating in space. but you kind of miss that. And I think that the things that we try to put into our own stories, you kind of miss a little bit of that from those old books, because it's like it's not, I don't think it's as grounded in the pathos of characters anymore.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's happened to a lot of them. Like if you think Steve Rogers, Rogers, when I was a kid, he had that little apartment in the Bronx, or was it Brooklyn? No, Brooklyn. And he worked as a comic book artist.
It's hilarious.
And all those little things like that. But now, I don't know. They just, Steve Rogers is Captain America. Captain America, Steve Rogers.
He's so far away from what he once was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's no, and suspension of disbelief is a big thing. But when you know that that's Steve Rogers and he lives in this apartment in that's a target, right?
Yeah.
Like that's someone's going to go out. You know, Bat Rock is going to come in.
Yeah.
Yes.
A perfect example, though, of playing around with those ideas was who was it? It was Fraction and
Matt Fraction. Yeah.
On the Hawkeye.
With
brilliant
series.
And him living in his little brownstone.
Yeah.
And I remember there was the siege on it and stuff. And
the Tracksuit Mafia. Oh my God.
Tracksuit Mafia. Yeah.
So good.
I've got that book right here.
Yeah. And again, that's where they hit it well, because it's street level. You can relate to it. The issues when they would have him with the hearing loss and pizza dog.
There you go. Yeah, but you're right, and it's those things that make beautiful work.
Beautiful work. The tones, using those colors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was trying to remember, did Brubaker write it too, or was it just Fraction?
Got Fraction.
I don't know why I'm trying to put Ed Brubaker into it also.
No Brubaker on here.
I think you're thinking of his Cap run.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it is just them. Okay.
Yeah, because when he brought back Winter Soldier, Cap was really grounded as well too.
Yeah.
And there's a certain aspect of that I like with those kind of characters.
Yeah.
Right. And that was a kind of cool thing, because I think I'd mentioned this to some other friends, where it's like Iron Man, you had your industrialist, and then Peter Parker was every person.
Yeah.
Banner was a scientist, Jekyll and Hyde, whatever. But then whatever story you wanted, you could just read that kind of book and get that kind of adventure. Yeah. Right. So if you wanted espionage, you can go with Cap, because he had the government stuff in Hydra. Mythology was Hercules or Thor. And it was always good when they then got together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I find that now, maybe I'm just old or whatever, but I don't get that same feeling when I pick up a book that I'm reading this kind of a story. It's it's a tale. And I'm not saying that to denigrate any of the like, there's a lot of great stuff that's out there, but I find that, I guess the point of the storytelling is different. Like manga seems to get it, where we're telling a teenage story and dealing with massive powers and whatever. Yeah. Right. I think comics mainstream have kind of lost that a tiny bit.
I think a lot of it is just movies, Hollywood and stuff has kind of influenced it that much more, right? Like it's not as people would read the older stuff and they'd think it's cheesy now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where because I don't think there's too. What about Invincible?
Invincible's amazing.
Yeah, that kind of still had a bit of that old that.
Yeah, because Invincible, it's the story of the kid that gets pulled into something that he doesn't quite understand. It's that age-old kind of like King Arthur story where it's like, holy crap, I'm supposed to be what?
So they still happen. Like it's
oh,
still,
definitely
still happen. Yeah. And it's not taken away from the stuff that's out there now. Obviously, it's just it's different. The influences are different because I'm sure there's lots of people who are out there who are writing right now that don't know some of the older stuff. Like they just don't know, because I'm surprised.
Oh, like you said, there's so much stuff out there.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm surprised with like, just like I find like my kids, they won't know who some like Queen,
right?
Like Bohemian Rhapsody came on the radio and we're driving, and I was just like, have you ever heard the song? She's like, no. So then I waited until we got to a light, and then the song hit that point where you start hitting the drums.
Right.
And I totally did that, and she was mortified because I was just like,
Dad, what are you doing?
She's like, Dad, stop it.
But it's like if it's not in a reaction video where like I love those videos where it's like, because I grew up listening to like Genesis and Tribe Called Quest and stuff like that. So when you have kids from today listening to genres that they wouldn't even have known existed, and like there were these kids that were listening to In the Air Tonight as an example, and they freaked out at the drum solo, and I'm like, how the hell do you not know? Yeah, how do you know that song, man? But it's because I think when I was their age, for some reason I knew my parents' music.
Yeah,
maybe because there was less, and so you were force fed stuff because there were fewer options.
So that's what that's what I have unfortunately done to my kids. So when it's me in the house, I'll basically tell Spotify to play 1970s country, which is weird because that's what my parents listen to.
My parents as well
like it, but I know all those songs, and now that's what I listen to, and I like it. I love it more so than the other stuff. So I'll listen to that, and then I have another playlist. I'll say play Dean Martin, and it plays all kinds of like all the Rat Pack stuff. Mm-hmm. So they know all those singers and stuff. And there's like, how come it sounds like Christmas? Because I always play those Christmas albums and stuff. So they're learning that stuff, and they're going to be the only kids that know.
When they have retro movie night and watch Ocean's 13 or whatever they're on now, they're like, oh, I know this stuff.
Somewhere down the line, I'm hoping it's gonna kick in for them, and they'll win that. They're on a game show winning $1 million because they know, Bobby Darin sang this song.
Right. Yeah, totally.
There really is something though, like when you were talking about the limited, the limited options that you used to have when it came to TV, radio, etc. Like yes, it was curated by few people, but at the same time, there was kind of like a collective community that came out of it. If I think of like being in high school, Monday morning, one of the first things I'd talk about with people was, did you watch Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Or there was things that were just these collective cultures, and
SNL, X-Files, like that was always like early part of the week would be like catching up on stuff that hit Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Simpsons. Did you see Simpsons last night? Kind of thing.
And now like it is really nice having the options, but I find that you spend more of life now going, so what was the name of that show you talked about earlier, Scott? Black Geese?
Oh, Black Rabbit?
Black Rabbit. And it's kind of one of those things where it's probably great. I'm probably going to watch it, but there's a million things now.
Sure.
So you don't have that same, hey, did you watch that? Like, if you remember back with miniseries.
And everybody will watch it all at once.
Yeah. So whether it was The Stand or V or those kind of things, everyone watched them.
Yeah. And when there was the reveals and stuff, spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly.
They ate mice.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. That show was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But and it's not to say that what's being produced now isn't good. There's amazing stuff being produced now.
Yeah.
You're right.
We're in a golden age of it.
Different. Absolutely. Because here's the thing. A lot of stories that couldn't have been told back in our day.
Yeah.
Hey man, you got enough time and energy for a Kickstarter? Let's get this thing rolling, and you can get your story out.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Yeah. So Black Helm, we gonna get 2 or no?
Yeah.
For sure.
We're hoping to have it for Toronto Comic Con, hopefully.
So that's March.
Yeah.
There's
So
stuff in between now and then, but
when I drew the last one, I did it in 22 or 24 days.
Oh, so you did it on a regular schedule.
Well, it was, we did 8. I got 8 pages done in 8 days, colored, drawn, everything. And then there was a break. I did something else. And then we released an ash can that had the first 8 pages as a preview. So we'll still probably carry those with us at the shows because we left the cover blank. So if anyone comes up to the table and they want a free sketch, $5 gets you a sketch and a 8-page preview of issue 1. No words, just pictures.
Nice.
But yeah, so then whenever I finished up whatever else I was working on, then Fan Expo was coming closer and closer. We needed to make sure that we got things printed in time. So then I did the next 14 pages in 14 days. And then there was a couple days of just like, laying it all out and putting the words on and editing, and then sent it off to ship. So theoretically,
yeah, and my plan right now is to get
just a matter of getting the time. Right?
My plan is to get you the first draft this weekend of issue 2, and then that way you've just got it and you can jump on anytime you can.
It's on me.
But it's better for me to get it to you sooner because you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I've got Pulptober.
Yes.
Drawings that you don't necessarily need to draw, but forcing yourself to draw them. So
keep it sharp. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm trying to draw a few ahead of time because if I'm away for Thanksgiving weekend, there's no way I'm getting anything done.
Especially the food coma that comes after Thanksgiving, right? So you're always slow getting back into it.
The long sleep, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Scott, Jeff, this was amazing. I want to thank you for coming and hanging out with me for a couple of hours. What do you have in store, or where can people find both of you?
You can find me, Scott Brian Woods, on Instagram. So at Scott Brian Woods. My website is scottbrianwoods.com. Those are the 2 main places.
And then my main hangout is Instagram. So that's Clinch 1975.
Excellent.
And yeah.
And I will put both of your social media @s into the description. So anyone who's watching this later, please go check them out, give them a like, a follow, all that kind of stuff, and check out what they're doing. They're absolutely great guys and super talented, and you should be on what they're doing. So do not hesitate. So Scott, Jeff, I want to thank you again. And for everyone else who's watching, I'll see you in 7. All right.
It's awesome. Thanks so much for having us.
This was great.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you later.